I just sent a DM to that boner guy just saying, man, I never rep anybody on social media.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just like, anybody that I might piss off, I just like want to make
sure. Like, just so you know, this is just my online persona.
It's a joke. I am not actually.
Yeah. Okay, well, sure. I got the timer going here. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Right. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to episode number 5. Unbelievable. 5 shows we've done of this now of A Drink with Jim and Dan. That's incredible.
Almost 6.
Almost 6.
You'll love to see it.
You do love to see it. More than 4, less than 6. We're right on track.
It's good.
Not that we have a track or a schedule or anything. We've kind of actually developed into this little groove where we shoot on Mondays, upload on Thursdays. It kind of seems to work for us.
Yeah.
Let's ignore the fact that today's Tuesday. But
I don't know, quite frankly, what happened to Monday. Long weekend.
What was it?
Got caught up somewhere.
I don't know what we were doing last night. I have no clue. Why didn't we? You started work today.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I started.
That's it. You started a
CPA.
New job?
New job, but old job. I've done 2 work terms with this accounting firm, and I've now.
They're a little local accounting firm, right?
They're Canada wide. They're a good sized 5th largest in Canada approximately, but they're quite large here in the prairies in Western
Subtle
Canada.
flex, I like it.
So subtle flex. Couldn't say a bad thing about the firm.
No, you can't say.
No, literally because they might be watching right now.
They might be. Yeah. For any of you, Dan is an upholding citizen in this community.
I love The Office, okay?
Yes.
The firm. And
the firm. The show. Anyway, what do we got drinking today? You're our resident beer expert again. Let's bring it on.
Today we deviated. Well, I made the decision to deviate a little bit.
Dan's our beer guy, by the way, guys.
Jim had no say in this whatsoever.
No, none whatever. I set up the camera stuff here. He comes over, and he just shows up with 2 beers in hand. I'm starting to wonder what the people at the LC think when you show up on the same day, nearly the same time, for weeks in a row now, and only pick up 2 king cans.
Well, yeah, honestly, they might quite frankly think that I'm a very regimented alcoholic, and I assure you that is not the case. I've had to actually explain multiple times to a couple of the people in the Buns Creek LC, hey, by the way, swear I'm not an alcoholic, like they've never heard that one before.
Right.
And just saying, it's for a podcast.
Yeah.
And one of my friends from school, his girlfriend and him listen to the podcast. So nice. Thank you very much for the support.
Shout out to you two.
And the beers that we have today, circling back here, is we're deviating from the local trend. We're going in with a Kronenberg 1664. And I haven't had one of these in quite a while.
It's
an import beer.
Why do I feel like I've had one, but it's one of those ones where you're at a party and someone asks if you want a beer and you're like, yeah, sure, and they toss you one of them. Yeah. I don't. It's a light beer.
It's a wheat beer. It's a wheat beer with a hint of citrus, and I assure you, it's going to be exponentially better than Blue Moon. It's going to be. Okay. Just prepare yourself. And I like the can too. Like I hate. Like I am not a marketing guy by any perspective.
What about the can do you like then?
It's just. The colors are clean. The design is clean. It's simple, and it still catches your eye. Because for those of you that can't see it, the can, it's like Kronenberg 1664, and then there's like a red X going through it. Boom. That basically highlights it. And I don't know, like I guess it looks similar to Michelob, but it
does look similar to Michelob.
So
yeah,
Kronenberg.
Awesome. Well, you know, one thing before we crack them, this really bothers me, and I don't know if there's any way to fix this with beer makers or just can makers in general, because we talked about this, is when I drink a beer, I like to hold it so that, let's just say I'm holding it with my left hand here, so I'll try to make it so you guys can see here. I like to hold it so that the label is facing out towards. That way, if you're ever having a picture taken or anything like that, it just is proper. So when you're drinking, you can look at it and just see it. It's not under your hand. I want to see the English label. But the tops of the cans are never lined up. So for me to drink this properly, I have to hold it like this. And when I turn, my hand is over the entire label. I don't know if there's any way to fix that, can makers.
Maybe we switch to bottles from here on out. Maybe this is it for king cans.
Because bottles are easy, because I can just flip it however I want.
Exactly.
But let's not knock any of those over like last time.
And we still haven't done Tsingtao.
No, we haven't, even though we talked so much about them on the first episode.
I am literally the Tsingtao poster boy.
You are.
And that magical night, you and Macy were there.
Yeah.
It really was wonderful. And I think that we should support the cause next time.
Next time we should do Tsingtao before summer's over and before patio season is over in particular, which I hate that I'm saying that right now, but it is August and
I hate to see it.
You're back at work now and school starts for a lot of people in the next month. So we should try to do an episode at 4th on that rooftop place and drink Tsingtao.
I think that is a brilliant idea.
So
maybe we'll try to turn that into like a summer cap off podcast.
Yes.
Maybe
the last
one of the summer.
Yeah, right when the weather's that's it. So 4th.
We are definitely going to
reaching
float
out.
this idea to you.
Yeah. We have 8 viewers. No, we have more than 8. We're actually doing, like, I'm pretty pumped with our YouTube, our video success here.
Honestly, I don't know why anybody wants to listen to a couple of reprobates like us. But honestly,
they do though.
There's value.
We're providing value somehow in here. So with our mediocre beer reviews, our restaurant reviews, where we basically picked all the mainstream restaurants and listed almost no local places, exactly. As Macy, my girlfriend, pointed out. And which, by the way, she said she watched.
Boston Pizza, Earl's.
Brown Social House.
We are dicks to local businesses.
I mean, the only locals we included in the list was in our dive bar category, which is really just unfair towards the restaurant industry, because we do have a lot of great local places that are higher end.
You know what? Let's do another category today, just as an extension from last week, and strictly locally owned restaurants that are worth checking out.
We'll hit that.
There's a ton of them.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason,
we just skipped them all.
We whiffed on all of them. Oh, you hate to see it.
Yeah, you did. So, because that was one thing Macy pointed out. She's like, I watched your podcast while walking the dog. She's like, I watched the video while walking my dog. She said it was funny, loved it, but she's like, you just ignored every local restaurant and mentioned like all the chains. And she said, and one other thing, I have to mention this. She said you didn't mention your waitress from the Keg, Gary Street. So I didn't say this last episode, but Mason and I go to the Keg on Gary Street, the only keg in the city, as we talked about, basically. We don't go there a ton, but mainly for special occasions, like we said last episode. And there was we went there twice in a matter of 3 weeks, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe. And we had the same waitress. Her name is Whitney. And she was phenomenal. Both times, loved her. She did a great job. So the next time we went, which was a few weeks later for some reason, which is not normal for us to eat out at the Keg that often.
Sure.
But so we put in there. I made the reservation on Open Table, and I put in there, if possible, can we have Whitney as our server, because she's just done phenomenal. And sure enough, they sat us in her section. And so the past 6-7 times we've been there,
that's sick.
Whitney. So Whitney from the Keg, Gary Street, if you're listening, if you're watching, if anybody knows Whitney at the Keg on Gary Street, let her know, because she does phenomenal. Love her.
Well,
so
my friend Carly from work used to work at that Keg as well, actually, so she probably knows Whitney, so I can get her to pass a word along.
Yeah, exactly. Love her. So, but anyway, we have been talking for 8 minutes here and haven't cracked our beers, but we talked about them.
Kronenberg, here we come.
Ooh. Those were foamy. Did you run down the stairs with those?
I might have tripped a little bit.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's go in. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is citrusy.
It is citrusy. And I was creeping the ingredients here earlier. The ingredients have, glucose syrup, so it's actually a somewhat sweetened beer.
Right, yes. Aromatic caramel.
Hop extract, and then sweet orange peel.
Yeah, you really taste that.
So, and this is a product of France, but take note the fact that the name is Kronenberg, which indicates that there's a couple of things that the French historically are good at. First of all, food and drink, which is including this beer. Right. Second of all, soccer teams. And third of all, somehow getting shit pumped by Germany in every major military conflict. I was going to say, I have no idea when Kronenberg... It was probably named something else French, and then the Germans took it, and then it got taken back. I wonder if that's Franco-Prussian War, World War I, World War II.
I have no clue, but I knew as soon as you brought a French beer over, there had to be some World Wars references, because quite frankly, the French flag might as well be a white flag.
Well, you know what? Let's discuss this a little bit. I'm a bit of a history buff, specifically when it comes to World Wars. I have no idea why. Yeah. I took a history class in university this past term, and I just really got into it. It was just super interesting. And the French military history was basically good with Napoleon.
Right.
Literal dog shit in every other scenario until World War I.
Right.
They did okay in World War I, pretty much just because they had more soldiers than Germany had bullets. So that was their strategy.
that was Germany's warm up war.
Yeah, exactly. And then World War II, I think they lasted 3 weeks or something.
Oh, it wasn't.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that was bad until
But speaking of World Wars, there's a movie coming out. It's called 1917.
I got notified when I got on my computer today about the trailer for that.
Yes.
I didn't click it. I saved it because I sounded cool. But
it's the first big budget World War One movie since War Horse was okay. Like we watched it in history class, like in high school.
I don't even remember watching that in high school.
It was really weird. It's like you know how you go into those classes and in school, there's the horse girl. It's like it was that.
I went to school in Oakbank.
Yeah.
We had a number of horse girls.
So it was basically a love story between a horse girl and her horse, except instead of it being a horse girl, it was a conscripted British soldier, and they were on the front line in Belgium. So it was
definitely did not see that.
It was big budget. It was okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan. This one I'm very
excited
because it's being done by the same director that did Skyfall. Sam Mendes, I think his name is.
Oh yeah. I love Skyfall. I could honestly probably talk for like an hour or two about James Bond movies. I'm a huge fan of James Bond movies.
Who
is James Bond?
Who is James Bond to you?
So it's got to be Pierce.
Yeah.
Because of our age though. Totally. So I'm a few years older than you are.
Yeah.
But Pierce was the Bond through the 90s and into the early 2000s.
007 GoldenEye on the
right?
N64.
Yeah. And so he was the Bond that I pictured, and that's when he was from the late 90s, early 2000s. So that's right when I was right from my 6 years old till I was 14 or 15 years old is when he was the Bond. So
sure.
But I remember when Daniel Craig got pulled in, and everyone was like,
he's
blonde, he's blue-eyed, Bond isn't that? And
everyone was pissed.
I really like him. I think he's done a phenomenal job.
I have to be honest. Now, I agree. Pierce is Bond for me, because again, that's just a product of our age. But I think Daniel Craig acts him the best. Now, with that being said, though, if you look at the Bond movies, even going back to when it was, oh my God, why can I not think of his name? The original Bond,
like Roger Moore or Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, thank you, Roger Moore. Sean Connery.
Every Celebrity Jeopardy. Remember those? Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to show you those guys if you haven't seen them. Celebrity Jeopardy. It was an SNL skit.
Yeah.
And the comedians played different people. And I forget who played Sean Connery. The funniest, one of my favorite skits. It's got to be from the 90s, or maybe even the 80s.
Yeah.
Like Will Ferrell was Alex Trebek.
Okay.
So, and Sean Connery would always make.
So funny.
And he's so good at it too. He never lost his composure. He was always so good. And every joke, it would always be Sean Connery would write down his guess, and his wager was always like your mom, and it was just hilarious. You got to watch it. You got to watch someone. I'll show you that after.
Will Ferrell was sitting down with Mark Wahlberg, and they were insulting each other, and the first one to laugh loses.
That was for Daddy. Daddy's Home. Daddy's Home.
And it was
funny movies too. I love those.
And it was so funny because Will Ferrell wasn't even saying anything that funny. He was just sitting there and very straight faced. He's like, Mark, I thought your performance was underwhelming, to be quite frank. And it was just like, what?
Yeah. I don't know how Will Ferrell is one of the best. And
he's so funny. Man.
And he's so funny. It's his delivery of how he does everything though. What his stuff he says, I don't think you're right. I think you're right. It's not super funny, but he just delivers it just so well.
And he plays the same kind of character in every movie. Right. Some overblown man-child that just exaggerates everything.
Oh yeah, you love it. You do love it. Now I don't even know how we got onto this topic. We were talking about Bonds,
and then I was gonna say, then we talked about Sean Connery, and then Celebrity Jeopardy, and spiral from there. But just to bring it back really quick, what I was gonna say is I think Daniel Craig acts Bond the best.
Right.
But maybe let's take a look at how much better the directing and the storyboarding for the movies is compared to how cheesy it used to be.
Right.
Because some of those Bond movies in the 70s were just brutal in terms of cinematography.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But they're just they're classics. Some of them are just such classics. I forget how many Bond movies there even are now, but I have almost all of them on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I don't even have a Blu-ray player anymore, but I have them all on Blu-ray. I remember Walmart had them on sale once, and I bought them all because I loved them so much.
Nice.
Yeah, I could watch those movies all day.
Get a box set.
Oh yeah. So maybe for 2 more episodes from now, I'll have to do something special because that'll be episode 007.
I have a bow tie and I have a suit, so I think I could do
There we
it.
go. I could put on my suit I wore to my grad in high school.
Wonderful.
I
that
can't
might be
put
fitting
the-
a little snug now.
Yeah, the jacket fits a little snug. I bulked up a little bit, and I'm
Make
pretty
no
sure.
mistake, though. You bulked up in a relatively good way.
Yeah, I didn't.
You were
I'm
skinny. You were
26.
skinny as shit.
I was.
in high
I was
school.
a real. Yeah, I was like this height, like 5'11", 6 feet.
6 feet in dress shoes.
6 feet
right?
in dress shoes. That's what we go
the
with.
benchmark. Screw you, people on Tinder.
Yeah, exactly.
6
6 feet in dress shoes.
Who uses Tinder anymore?
Well, if you
though?
can,
I'm not.
Anyway,
Back. Dark days.
yeah. I was like when I graduated, I was this height. So for people who know me, the height I am now, but like 145 pounds, 140 pounds. So I'm like 195 right now. So imagine 50 pounds less. Like where do you even take 50 pounds off of?
That's so true, man.
Which is crazy to think, but I mean I'm probably a little bit heavier than I want to be right now.
Yeah.
But I this is a super lame excuse, but I dislocated my shoulder and it was what's the date today? Today is the 6th. I dislocated my shoulder almost 3 years ago to the day.
Ooh, shit.
And from that I put on like 10 pounds and I just have been sitting at that 10 pounds heavier than what I was. And I was at like my physical peak.
Yeah.
Then that's when I was working out a couple times a week with a personal trainer and I was fit then. So
Yeah.
it happens.
You're literally shredded now, though. I don't know what you're talking about. You're just being humble.
Yeah.
But it's so freaking easy to just pack on weight and you had this problem too, and I had this problem absolutely. You can attest to it. Is you've been athletic like growing up.
Right.
You've played tons of sports. I only played one sport.
Right.
But we both trained pretty intensely
Yeah.
for our respective sport
And sports.
plural.
Yeah.
Is that I remember when I was playing football and I had to be in really good condition, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to throw for 6 touchdowns against Steinbach in 2013.
Yeah, exactly. And then what would the world have been without a Dan that threw 6 touchdowns?
I think that day it was late August, regular season started a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
First game of AAA, and I think that August afternoon I think made me into
Changed.
who I am. Changed me.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. It has. Anyway.
But in any event, you go from training super hard and you're in the gym 3 times a week working with a trainer, and then you're going to practice and you're
Right.
doing conditioning and you're doing HIIT cardio nonstop. So it's like I was shoveling back like 3,500, maybe 4,000 calories a day.
Easily.
At least.
Yeah.
And same with you, because you
Yeah.
played soccer, hockey.
And soccer and hockey were the 2 big ones, but usually just on
those are
multiple
so
teams.
intense
Yeah.
in terms of cardio and endurance. So you could shovel back tons of calories and carbs, and it's fine. It cycles right through your
Oh,
system,
totally.
and the residual gets kept as muscle. But let me tell you, when I made the fateful decision to attend the Asper School of Business and take accounting,
That's tough.
I stopped playing football.
Yeah.
I played for 1 year after high school. I had a roster spot on the Rifles, but it was at like 4th string. I just did not have a good spring camp. There weren't enough people from the Steinbach secondary out there, unfortunately. And I just said, you know what?
There's no way to pick on back there.
I just got to focus on school.
Right.
And, let's face it. I am a 5'11" Canadian male from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I am not making it to the show.
That would have been a tough one. You definitely. I mean, there's not even the Canadian quarterbacks in the CFL right now. They're struggling right now. Like
Yeah.
Brandon Bridge, who for the past few years you've just been waiting for him to catch on.
And he hasn't.
He just isn't.
He was an absolute hype beast coming into the league, because everybody's like, here's this
Gangbusters when he came in.
natural born Canadian, and then natural born as opposed to what, artificially born.
We grew him in Toronto.
I was grown in a tube in the basement of the Asper School of Business.
I mean,
actually.
we still can't deny if that happens or not. In Asper.
I just came out of the tube 3 years ago. Exactly.
There you
how
go.
I am
They're
right
just
now.
pumping out Chad Bros left, right,
Just
and
cranking them
center.
out.
We'll name this one Dan.
Freaking kids just coming out with jeans on, the cuffs rolled already.
Oh my God.
Hair combed a little to the side.
Geez, shirt belts underneath their pants and everything.
By the way,
How'd that
because
work?
You
You went
were
to work
all
today.
wondering about how well my
Yeah.
shirt stay worked, and let me tell you, it has been stress tested in day 1 at the office, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. It performed relatively well.
That's good.
So
That's
shirt
good.
belt, had to tighten it a little bit at lunch hour because it was just loose. Shirt was coming untucked a little bit.
Got to readjust.
That was an administrative issue on my part.
User error.
Not the belt's fault.
Fix it for next time.
Absolutely.
There we go.
I'm gonna come back better.
My $2,500 computer purchase is working out too. For those people who are wondering.
That was a beast computer, man. Seriously.
Yeah,
I,
it's-
I just like looking at it.
I know, right?
Frank,
I know.
like looking at
It's like a gaming PC, guys. So it's got a glass window on the side, so you can just see the things light up, and that just looks cool. You don't even have to know computers to think, oh, man, this looks like it's powerful.
Yeah.
That's why I can pump out these podcasts just so quick. Just kidding. These are some of the easiest shows I ever edit.
High efficiency.
Yeah, basically. We're totally getting off topic. I don't even remember what our topic was now.
Well, what was our topic? Oh, yeah, we were talking about eating and calories.
Eating calories, yeah.
So anyways, basically, I start going to school. The freshman 15 hit me more like the freshman 35. And it's just, that was a product of some bad lifestyle choices over my first year and a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So then it was a lot of salvaging my athleticism. And fortunately, I was able to turn the franchise around a little bit.
What that happens just with age too. Like you just aren't able to do things. Life just picks up. Like right now, I'm just doing one soccer team in the summertime. It's like 1 to 2 times a week, at most 2 times is what I'm getting physical activity because I haven't even been going to the gym in a while. So like compare that to even last summer, like the start of last summer, I was still playing on a premier soccer team where we were practicing 2 times a week and games once or twice a week. And if you go back a few years, you include hockey in there, you include a couple soccer teams. From when I was like 16 or even younger, from when I was like 13 or so when I started playing indoor soccer until like a couple years ago, there was like maybe a few weeks in the spring and maybe a few weeks in the fall. But other than those few weeks, it was 3 to 6 nights a week. Soccer or hockey, practices, games, and sometimes it was double headers in those days. So and like that's a lot of calorie burning. That's tough to adjust to.
And even just think about what your metabolism would do when you stop, because your metabolism is also has it.
I have a high metabolism.
I'm not a kinesiology guy. I'm not gonna pretend I am, but I do know that your metabolism just does have to do with your base activity rate.
Right.
Cardio. So your metabolism, your heart rate's probably just out of whack when you stop doing that. But I have a question for you. And this is a very serious bonding question, friendship question. What in your entire athletic career?
Oh boy.
What game was of equivalent glory to 6 touchdowns against Steinbach in 2013? What game across any sport you've ever played was your holy grail performance?
Man, there's so many different games. There's so many different like championship games in soccer.
And I hope you can name the opposing team by name.
Oh my God, there's so many. There was growing up in the soccer world. I played for Oakbank, and then there was also the city is divided into like 5 like premier groups. So like there's Phoenix and Northwest, blah blah blah, Portage Trail. Anyway, but Oakbank, Valley Gardens, and Bronx, the community clubs, were all part of the Phoenix catchment.
Yeah.
And Phoenix's premier team sucked. They were awful at our age. They would just get stomped on every year.
I knew tons of people that played Phoenix. I never knew.
Yours was different. For my age and a couple years older, a couple years younger, we had like nobody playing on the team because all of us were staying with our clubs. So for years, it was Oakbank, Bronx, Valley Gardens, rotating through at the top of the tables.
Right.
And I can remember so many championship games against Valley Gardens, which I've been friends with some of those guys afterward and stuff, and eventually a few of us from each team went and played Premier together, kind of got the band together and went and played. But there was a few games. There's one in particular, unfortunately, it's a loss that sticks in my head.
Oh.
Yeah, that one hurts. It was
where you did everything you could and just couldn't win.
Here's what happened. We must have been 15 or 16 years old at the time, so a few years younger than what you were during your Steinbach 6 touchdown game. And we were playing at Seven Oaks Community Club. The indoor soccer, it was the best field in the city at the time because back then they didn't have U of M, U of W. They didn't have those massive indoor multiplexes. And we lost, I believe, I'm 99% sure it was 7-4 in the finals.
Oh.
And like midway through the first half, our goalie, James actually, the buddy who we called a couple episodes ago, came out of the box and punched a ball out on a breakaway.
Yeah.
But the ref said he punched it away outside the box.
So
so it was a handball because he's the goalie, he's the last man back. It's a red card because it was a foul that immediately caused the goal to not happen. Like if he didn't do that, the guy was gonna get it. Like if he doesn't punch it, the ball's going in the net.
Right.
So it's an automatic red. So our goalie's out, and James was a good goalie. Sure. So our goalie's out. So now we got to put in someone else in net, which is tough because Valley Gardens was a good team. And in that 7-4 game, I got a hat trick. I had 3 of the 4 goals. And I just remember thinking, we can still do this. We can still do this. But like late in the game, it just like they just piled on a few goals.
Yep.
And that game sticks. Not for the good reasons though, but that game is like one that sticks in my head.
Yeah.
But there was going to hockey now, a few years younger. We played in a championship game in Beausejour against the Beausejour Blades. I don't remember the score of the game. All I remember is coming off the ice after a crash in the net and jumping on our goalie. Coming off, and Glenn, my buddy Travis's dad was our coach. He's like, party at my house, and the whole team went over to his house afterwards.
Oh,
and
that's sweet.
I mean, we were 12 or something, and we drank Pepsis and
Okay.
chips all night and stayed up till 8 a.m.
If you were 17, it would have been a different tune.
would have been a different
For sure.
story. Yeah, unfortunately, oh man, I've played on so many good teams, yet so many teams that we've won tournaments and won regular seasons and stuff, but like never won like the Holy Grail, like never won like the Grey Cup of the season, or never won the Stanley Cup, like didn't win the final championship game, which devastates me.
It's funny how like that happens. Like, and this is a quote, I believe this was Vince Lombardi that said it. So this is our inspirational quote of the day. Not that this is ever going to become a segment again on this podcast, because you do not listen to us for inspiration.
For inspiration and motivation. Could you imagine if we just go back? I don't think I released any of our ASMR stuff yet, but
Oh, no.
imagine doing ASMR motivational stuff.
ASMR motivation and reading financial statements in ASMR. Unbelievable.
Anyway, Vince Lombardi said something.
And I'm totally paraphrasing this because I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something to the effect of like, you could do absolutely everything right. Like, you can make no mistakes. You cannot like fuck a single thing up.
Right.
And you could still lose. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's like not even a failure on your part. It's like,
No.
that's just how life works.
Just the way it goes.
Like there was an example of like, there were two examples of it in my football career as well. Like, I remember there was this one game in high school, grade 12, we were playing Murdoch McKay, and they
Yeah.
were a really good team. They were ranked nationally at that point in time.
Oh,
They were
really?
like, they were
Wow.
they were like top 15 high
school
schools in
team?
Canada.
Wow.
And
I never knew they were
River
that good.
East, I mean, we were good, but we're not ranked. Like, we're not top 100, I don't think. Anyways, not that they even did rankings over 20, so I have no idea. But maybe we crept in at 99.
Maybe.
99. Anyways, we were playing them, and they were like heavy favorites. And we played like ass the entire first half, and Murdoch just like takes it to us. And then somehow we just like pulled it together. And
Yeah.
the offense, we were like I threw like a couple of, I know, you hate to say it, I wasn't
Picks?
a perfect quarterback. I threw a couple of picks in the first half.
Pick sixes?
Nope, no
okay.
pick sixes. But
There's a
we're
little bit of your
two
little
picks
bit
against
back.
Murdoch in 2013, unfortunately.
Oh, we never talk about those.
But then I turned around, and then I turned it 2 picks into 2 touchdowns.
Touchdowns.
So we slowly like scratched back into the game, and then all of a sudden we drove down the field. It was our last possession. We get the touchdown, and then we call a 2-point conversion, call an audible on the line. Audible works, runs
Really?
it in. We get 2 points. We're winning, I think 23-22 or something like that. The ensuing kickoff, there was like 20 seconds left on the clock or something like that.
Defense got to come up big.
So defense has to come up big, or no, it was actually like 5 seconds left, because I just remember they had
One play. Barring a penalty.
We kicked the ball off. They got it. We tackled them. Stopped. Game over. Like, we charged the field. We were fired up.
Yeah.
There was a flag. It was a late hit on one of our guys.
Of course
and
it was.
It was unfortunately like, I don't know if it was. It probably was. If the ref called it, it was probably a late hit. So anyways, Murdoch got the ball in really good position. Like,
What? Okay, I don't know this. You guys played on a 110-yard field,
Yep.
like CFL
Full
rules.
CFL
So
size.
when your kicker would kick off from 35, where would it get to? Like,
we had a sick kicker.
Kicker? Yeah.
He used to be a soccer player.
Yeah.
And he just
All the
showed up
best
to
ones are.
he just showed up to camp, and it was just hoofing field goals. And he was our slot receiver too.
Yeah.
He was a freak athlete.
so how
You
deep
should have
is-
played football
I know
if
I
you-
should have. That's
you
the
should have.
exact thing. I have successfully. I don't know. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen I have kicked 45-yarder at Cowboy Stadium last year. Kicked 40 out. You started off like 30, 45-yard line. Nailed one right through the uprights, 45 yards. It's on my Instagram. I got a video of it. Maybe if I can find the actual file, I'll toss it up on the screen right now.
Yeah.
I was so jacked on it.
I've never
but-
even seen that. I'm gonna
No.
go actively look for that on your
Yeah,
Insta now.
yeah, it was good. So that was a proud moment in my career. But anyway, you guys are
Anyways.
strong kicker. So how deep was he kicking?
So he was kicking like from our 35, we would get it to like their 30 or like their 25.
Yeah.
Like it was like quite good.
Yeah.
Basically, because in high school, nobody's expecting a kicker with a big leg, so
Right.
the returners come up close. So if you had the wind, it wasn't totally unreasonable to try to kick it in for a touchback, but we were against the wind or something. So the kickoff went short. Not that it was the kicker's fault at all.
15-yard penalty.
Played coverage. Yeah, it was like they got it to midfield. 15-yard penalty. All of a sudden now, they're not in field goal distance.
Right.
They were in punting distance.
Right, well, if they're down by 1, all they need is that.
But they lined up for a field goal anyways, just because they had a good kicker too, who was also their quarterback, and basically
Also their quarterback.
Yeah,
that's a stealthy combo to have.
Oh, yeah.
To have your quarterback in the backfield.
I was supposed to be our punter in grade 12, so we could run fakes, but I could not kick if my depended on it. No, couldn't do it. But anyways, long story short, they line up for a field goal, kick the field goal, miss. Our deep man tries to return it out. Couldn't get it
out of the end.
Couldn't get it out of the end zone because they had a couple of gunners that were really, really fast. Couldn't get it out of the end zone, and they got a touchback and they tied. It was the only tie.
That's where you got to get like the old school Canadian
and where you kick it back out, right?
Punt it out of the end zone. Boomer.
I was speaking with some of the guys on Murdoch after. I'm like, what a wild finish, and they were like, yeah, we thought your guy was going to kick it out
for sure.
But it's like, how do you situational plan for that? It's like
it happens so infrequently. It's probably the only time in your entire career that
guaranteed. If I was back there is no way I would have been like, oh, I should just kick this back. Like,
right. Well, it happens so infrequently, and it's only a CFL thing that's happening.
Exactly.
And I love the end of games when that like it's like a rugby game breaks out. Like we were talking about this at the last Bomber game. Actually, I think it was against Toronto, where. Yeah, I think it was against Toronto where we were down a score and we had one play because we returned the kick, we got out of bounds, whatever, at our 35, 40-yard line, and my dad and I were talking about it. He's like, you know what we should do? They're going to give us 20, 30 yards in this play because we need like 70 yards to the end zone.
Forward pass and then
so
kick it
forward pass and then boot it out the end zone. So can you throw it 20 or 30 yards cleanly? Dude. And can Drew Wolotarski kick? Can Darvin Adams kick? Could Chris Matthews kick? Could any of them a punter? Because if any of them are, they can catch, and if they have some space, if they can punt it the other 50, 60 yards out the end zone.
Dude, that is so smart.
Could you imagine if that's how the game ended? But, I mean, the pass wasn't even completed in the Bomber game, and there was a guy on him, too. But I don't even know if that crossed O'Shea and Nichols' mind.
Probably not.
I mean, I hope it did, because those are Canadian boys, and the fans shouldn't be able to think of that if the coaches can't think of that. Could you imagine? I love the finishes when they get like that.
Absolutely.
Something that only in the CFL can provide. It's like a rugby game.
But that's fucking wild, man. Honestly, loves sports.
So we had no. By the way, guys, we had no plan what to talk about today.
No, I know we literally just sat down.
We talked after the first episode. We just ranted on for 46 minutes or something like that, and it seemed to work well. It worked well for everything, but we talked to some people, and they're talking about trying to get a little more structure, and we felt it would be better for it, so we did that for a few episodes, and it just didn't feel right for us. So that's why.
For the individuals that we have consulted with, because they're highly regarded, highly respected,
running
in the community.
Shows for a long time,
very long time. We've connected with a couple of people actually, and everybody seems to think that top 10s lists, and that would be fun to do. Yeah, that would be fun to do, and that, but
we almost need to cap it though. We need to we're talking for 10 minutes. Top 5, top 10 restaurants, top 10 beers, top 10 Bomber quarterbacks of all time. Where. Sorry, Noah, but Michael Bishop is not cracking that.
Noah, I mean, make no mistake, to quote you, make no mistake, Michael Bishop cannot write his own name. Like, sure, the guy can throw a football 80 yards. Yeah, he cannot write his own name.
No, anyway, we're getting off topic again. But we could probably do that. We could probably say, today we're going to talk about this and make a top 10, talk for 10 or 15 minutes about it. But part of what I think, I mean, you guys can let us know in the comments, part of what makes this kind of fun and entertaining, and why I think people have listened and watched this, is because like we literally just talk about random stuff and go off on things.
Yeah.
Like just the general rapport we have with each other just works.
It does.
Like bounces back and forth. So tonight, literally, normally we talk at the start, like, hey, we're going to intro this, then we're going to do this. We don't write anything down, but like we say that we're going to segue into this and this. Tonight it was just like, yo, we should probably talk about these couple things, but let's just sit down and shoot it.
Isn't that how it works? Like whenever you go out for a drink with a friend or you go out for a bite with somebody you haven't seen in a while, I mean, we literally see each other every week, but this goes to any situation. You don't sit down with an itinerary. I think tomorrow I'm going for a drink with my cousin Kelly, and I'm not going to go and sit down with her and I'm going to be like, let's talk about work. Let's talk about your exams. Let's talk about our love lives.
Email you my talking points beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like that. It's just like, how's it going? And then all of a sudden you talk, and then an hour's passed. Yeah. And it's like, wow, I didn't even ask them the one thing I wanted to ask.
Right. And you say you should do that again because hours have passed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like even we did talk before this when we were thinking about talking about what we were going to talk about.
Whatever that was.
Yeah. If that.
You hate to say
Okay. Anyway, when we were talking about what we were going to talk about today, we literally just said, let's talk about these 3 or 4 things, but let's just see where it takes us and let's just get there. I don't think we've talked about any of those things we said we were going to talk about yet.
And I quite frankly can't even remember what they were. I remember, this is the important one, we do need to talk about local restaurants because we utterly shafted them in our last episode.
Yeah, we did. I think we mentioned this at the start. I don't even remember what we talked about at the start of the episode now because we just go off on tangents now. But we did say at the start we're going to talk about some local places. Maybe we could dive into that right now. Right here, right now.
We're on the note. We might as well.
Otherwise, we're going to forget, and we're going to be in.
So, instead
just do like favorite local restaurants.
Favorite local restaurants. We don't need to do the tiers. For those of you that didn't tune in to our last episode or just don't remember, our tiers were fine dining, casual dining, sports bars, and dives. And our dives were. I selected, again, not because it's a dive, but because it's a hole in the wall, Santa Ana on St. Mary's.
And I went with
great restaurant.
And I went with King's Head just because it looks like, but it really isn't.
It is. Like it is, but it isn't. Like I was just at King's Head on Saturday with a couple of my friends, and I do have friends. Go figure.
Besides me.
Except you all suck because you're probably not listening to this podcast.
He's actually paying me to do this show.
Bunch of pricks. Yeah, Jim and I just met a few weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an okay guy.
He met me on Instagram. He reached out and said, I want to do a show. You have a camera. Can you do this for me?
Exactly. I still have to get my LinkedIn profile going.
Yeah, we do.
Pictures.
We do. Maybe.
As an aside.
Anyway, what time is you're doing stand-up on Wednesday night?
Yeah,
what time is that?
Doing stand-up tomorrow.
I mean, by the time they see this, it was last night.
Yeah, it's going to be 8. I think 8 tomorrow it starts, and I don't know.
How far down the docket are you?
I have no idea. Okay. I find out when I register. Gotcha. I'm trying out an entirely new set because my last set was very spotty. I had 2 jokes that got a laugh. And 3 actually.
I can bring a laugh track for you next time.
Please do, because have you ever tried to watch Big Bang Theory?
With
the laugh track edited out? It's brutal.
Yeah,
literally the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't even get into that. We're actually getting so off topic again because I was trying to just ask when your show is because I got something going on tomorrow night at 7, but we were going to go into our restaurants.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so, let's get back to our restaurants.
And your dive was King's Head.
Yeah.
So, and yes, I went to King's Head on Saturday with some friends because I do have friends. Anyways, continue.
Yes. So what are some of your other favorite restaurants? Just like no particular category, not beers, food, whatever. Just if you were going out right now, some local places that you would like to go that maybe people don't know about or they do know about.
All right. So right off the bat, really good spot if you're ever wanting to go on a date or go somewhere fancy. Very aesthetic. Is Chibo Waterfront Cafe.
Very, yeah.
On Waterfront. You probably guessed it.
Yeah, totally.
It's price point high. Not as high as the Keg or high end, but it's price point's high. But you go in, it has a killer vibe. Exposed brick, great patio, right on the river. It's awesome. Beer specials, sometimes they have. It's not too bad. You're looking at $6 or $7 for a drink still. But
I've actually only ever been there for their brunch. Which
they have brunch?
Yeah. I went there for it was super good. Once again, it wasn't cheap. Like I wouldn't say it was super expensive, but it definitely wasn't cheap. Like you're still talking whatever it was. It was probably $20 or something for breakfast, which that's higher up for breakfast food. But
I think
it was really good. Really good.
I think their menu's good, but I think they need to get better chefs because their standardization is a little bit off.
Yeah. I won't touch on
that's my one knock on it. I can't speak to the competence of them. I'm sure they're all great, but in any event, and then if you're really feeling daring, right after Chibo, a super short walk down, I think it's
ton in that area.
Alexander, I think it is. The really dicey street that you're for sure going to get shivved if you walk down with the warehouses.
Yeah.
There's
I know
there's a distillery called Patent 5.
I haven't even heard of it.
You wouldn't even know.
Really?
You drive down
Alexander.
the street, and it looks like a garage door.
Yeah.
And they opened it up when the weather's nice, if it's not too humid out. Mm-hmm. And it's like a speakeasy. They serve no food, but they actually distill vodka, whiskey, and something else.
Damn.
Vodka, whiskey for sure, but they distill some hard liquor and they turn it into a cocktail bar for only a couple of hours. It's between 7 and 7 and midnight or something like that.
Really weird hours for those places, but
it's sweet.
Just drinks?
Just drinks, no snacks at all. But you walk in there, super cozy, super tight seating or whatever. But it's good. I was just there with a couple of, like I said, same friends that I ended up going to King's Head with.
Yeah.
In fact, actually I was at Non-Such, great microbrewery with one friend.
Very
before.
good. Yes.
Then we had a beer, Belgian Tripel. Thank you, Non-Such.
Yeah. Non-Such is great. I love that place.
The Tripel.
Don't go there enough.
They have food now, by the way. Anyways,
yeah. Moving on.
As an aside, that's a whole other situation.
We're looking at our time right now. I have no clue how we all of a sudden got up to 42, 43 minutes here on this show.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane. But anyway, continue. Patent 5.
Keep going. So anyways, Patent 5. You go in, and one of my friends, we ended up running into our other friends just by chance that we ended up going to King's Head with. We got a whiskey sour.
Oh, yeah.
Little fruity. So good, though.
Yeah.
Super tasty. But anyways, Chibo, Patent 5, good spots. What do you have to think of?
Ooh, there's a ton downtown that is so good. One patio, we went to Fourth Patio Rooftop. Love that place. Need to go back. Only been once. But some places, I'm going to go kind of a little bit off here. I did have it. Now I'm totally losing my mind on what place I had because I had it and then we went on a rant.
Peasant Cookery?
No. Why am I not? I'm totally drawing a blank on what it is. This isn't good.
La Carnita?
No.
Mexican restaurant. No. I've yet to try it. I want to.
Yeah. No. What? Oh man, this is driving me nuts. I had it on the tip of my tongue and then I just totally forgot what this place was.
Is it downtown?
Yeah, downtown.
So not Peasant Cookery, not La Carnita.
No, it's not Johnny G's.
Not Johnny G's.
I don't like getting stabbed. We mentioned them last episode.
Bodegos?
No.
Not Capital Bar. Man. No, that's not. I don't know how they're in business.
One place, downtown, speaking down waterfront downtown, that I haven't been that's local is Carnival.
All right, I'm going to tell you something.
You're going to dive into that one there?
Carnival, it's good. It's a novelty. I've been there twice. Never need to go back.
No? What about it?
It's not that it's not good, because it is. But the meat is, they use the same seasoning or the same type of salt on all of their meat.
For all of them?
That all of a sudden, the chicken starts tasting like fish and beef.
Oh, really?
It all starts tasting the same, and the price point. It's a great idea, because we only have one other competitor to them in the city, and I can't remember what it's called.
I have no clue. I'm a big fan of Brazilian steakhouses, though.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Carnival. I've been told I had to go because when I go to the States, I almost always go to Fogo de Chao, which I don't know if you've heard of it or if I've mentioned it in stories before. Yeah, Fogo de Chao, which is a Brazilian steakhouse, which is a chain. There's hundreds of them in the States.
Sure.
I've been to a dozen of them, Minneapolis, Miami, a couple in LA and Beverly Hills, Las Vegas. I think Minneapolis, they're all over the place. New York's is insane. It's this 4-story. You walk in the front of just a massive building, and all of a sudden it's 4 floors, open concept, a 50-foot wine wall. It's insane. And once again, not cheap. Insane. It ranges from $50 to $70 American a plate.
Yeah.
But I just have a heyday. I easily 20-30 ounces of just pure steak.
Oh yeah.
Just prime ribs,
at that point,
sirloins, New Yorks, filet mignons, duck, lamb, fried bananas. I could eat a whole. Oh.
Have you ever been to Ray and Jerry's?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Ray and Jerry's. That's classic. Funny story. I hated Ray and Jerry's for 15 years.
Stop.
Yeah. I went there as a kid, and they used real ground beef, like a real high quality meat for like, or they had steak burgers. I don't even know what the deal was, but whatever burger I had when I was like 7 years old when I went there, did not like it.
Wild.
I guess I was used to like an A&W burger
Cheap
or something.
ground beef,
yeah, right. So, or McDonald's, so I didn't like it. So I never wanted to go back there until.
What kind of sauces do you like to get on your burger at A&W?
Burger, I always get the teen burger if I go to A&W.
Teen burger?
But I mean the matzo burger is real good, but the matzo sauce is just their special sauce, which is just like a Thousand Island.
I remember like this one time I got a teen burger and it was just like loaded with like so much ketchup. So much ketchup and like mustard and everything like that. Like whatever they put on it.
Yeah.
It was loaded. And I was there and I was talking to this one girl and she was serving me and she was like hyping up adding some sort of like Southwest sauce they have for some sort of chicken burger.
Yeah.
She was hyping it up to put it on this burger. And I was just coming off of my experience with like the super, super ketchup-y, mustardy burger.
You're like,
so I was just like, you know what, man?
I'm
like,
have to pass on that one.
I'm just like, you know what? Like, just hold the sauce. It be dripping.
It be dripping, man.
Because it was so. and there it is. That's a true story, by the way. But for those of you who are unaware, I promised that I would incorporate.
I was wondering where you were going with that, and now I didn't pick up on it until the last second. For those of you, I'll explain the backstory. So the saying "hold the sauce, it be drippin'" is a lyric from a music video I'm working on right now, which. As of right now, when I'm filming this, is like 99% done.
Great job on it, by the way.
Thank you. As of Thursday, when you're watching this, hopefully I have the second revision done, and hopefully it should be live soon. I will definitely link that on my personal page at jim.m4 on Instagram. For the guy's name is his name on, like, if you're going on iTunes, Spotify, or Play Music or anything, is Case, K-A-C-E. His Instagram is Fortune Tellers with a Z at the end. But yeah, his song New Whip, and yeah, he has a line in there that goes.
It's catchy.
It is very catchy. So I've been doing the music video for that for the past couple weeks, but he's got a line in there. Hold the sauce, it be drippin'.
Homie sippin', we sippin', hold the sauce, it be drippin'. Know we come alive in the nighttime. Yeah.
So when I showed Dan the video just before this, he says, "Man, I am going to work that lyric into our show today somehow." And I had no clue that's how you were going to bring it in. I totally forgot that you were going to do that.
There you go. Case, it's a good song, man. I'm looking forward to it coming onto Apple Music or something, because
it is live now on Apple Music, just the music video. Yeah, it is on there. So you can Apple Music, Spotify, Play Music, wherever you stream your music from, you can go and search New Whip by Case, K-A-C-E, and listen to it. But for sure the video will be out on YouTube, I would say within the week for sure, and definitely snippets of it on both his and mine Instagram within the week. So
beautiful.
Now we are running like way longer than we had initially planned,
for sure.
But there's a couple things we should touch on and try to keep it to let's keep to like a minute topics.
Sure.
So like today was your first day back at work.
Yeah.
I want to touch on, because by the time we watch this, it's Thursday, and both of us, by the time we record another show, might have gone on a couple little trips in between then. So talk about your trip for the next minute here, then I'll talk about mine potentially.
Well, there was no soft landing for the kid today.
No,
on my first day back at the firm. I am very happy to be back, and I was able to I'm coming off of some work terms with them or whatever, so I'm already pretty climatized.
Right.
So it wasn't so much of a big, welcome to the firm. It was just like, here's a file, do it, like, welcome back.
You know what you're doing.
And then about a couple of hours later, I got a notification that I was scheduled for an audit that's up north in the Paw. And basically, I, in the past with this firm, have done some northern Manitoba audits.
Yeah.
And, it involves flying out on a dicey aircraft.
And single prop or dual prop plane.
I like to consider them spirit quests, in fact, because quite frankly, the perseverance and mental fortitude I need to have to not only get onto one of those planes,
right,
but show up, be productive,
yes,
get the work done, make sure the client's happy, and then get home on one of those dicey planes. It's a lot.
It's impressive. Well, so, I mean, you had a good time in Thompson last year doing that same thing. So
I have stories about Thompson that we are just gonna
can't share on the podcast.
We're gonna keep to ourselves.
Right.
let me tell you though, client treated us well. Team
Yeah.
performed well. And
Yeah.
from a purely professional and effectiveness standpoint, Thompson was a good experience.
Good experience
overall.
all around.
There were some other personal situations that we will keep
Leave
under
off.
wraps.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
nothing bad,
no,
I assure you.
No. But yeah, the paw. Just jumping right back into it, sending up to thank God we've been pushing off this audit for 3 months, waiting for Dan to come back so we could send him to the paw. That's definitely what the upper management was thinking.
Probably.
Dan's back, August 6th, boom, lay him on with the paw trip next week.
And you.
And me, I got a message from a buddy, Jared, who has a media company in the city, Storm the Castle Media. He's doing a bunch of video series right now.
Hey, speaking of the French, storm the castle, storm the Bastille.
There you go.
That kicked off the revolution. Please continue.
Anyway, so he asked, he's like, he needs someone to go to Muskrat Dam, like the animal, Muskrat Dam. It's in Northern Ontario. It's about 3/4 of the way up towards Thompson North, but in Ontario. Yeah, he asked me to go there next Monday, Tuesday, fly on probably just as sketchy, if not sketchier of a plane.
Oh boy.
Because I looked at it, their airport is a gravel runway and it looks like a 20 by 40 building is their airport. Tin shed. So I might be going up there next Monday, Tuesday, flying Monday. And I mean, it's like a 550 kilometers away. So it's probably a couple hour flight still.
Sure.
On that little plane, land, shoot all afternoon, sleep, wake up, shoot, and then fly home in the evening on the Tuesday. So
Sweet.
We'll see how that goes. I mean, maybe we could even... When are you going potentially for yours?
We have a planning meeting tomorrow, but I think it's going to be either on Monday or Tuesday.
Of next week?
Out. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we might have to, if we have cell service,
we're going to have to try
we might have to do
content.
we normally film on Mondays or Tuesdays, so maybe we'll have to do a remote drink with Jim and Dan and on the phone with each other, talking about our experiences on our planes, and hopefully we can both do it alive.
Oh my God, you would hope that to be the case.
Yeah, but anyway, how's your drink doing?
Well, I just killed it about 30 seconds ago. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I am good.
Kronenberg, the city of Kronenberg, if that's what it's named after. Thank you to falling to the Germans at some war in our history, because not only did you give this beer a good name, the beer probably wouldn't exist. So
right.
This was a good one.
Not normally a citrusy beer fan, but I like it.
Well, shall we go get another?
Hey, we at our prime. Yeah, I'm at my prime. Hey, I'm at my prime. Whoa. Said I'm at my prime.